Thank you for tuning into the Buyer's Guide podcast, where we talk all things property and finance. My name is Peter Mastriani, the founder of the Buyer's Guide, which has been established to really help as many people as possible buy their first home, right through to building a substantial property portfolio, securing their financial future. In today's cast, we're going to discuss negotiating and achieving the best sales price possible. So, let's get to it. Numerous books have been written on the art of negotiation, so I'm going to try and give us some justice with, just a few simple tips that I believe that you should consider when negotiating the purchase of property. Now, in a private treaty arrangement, it will be likely that you'll have had a bit of interaction with the real estate agent, and being human, they'll have some preconceived ideas. The vendor will have a price that they will want, and they'll probably add in some fat. Now, I always imagine that fat to be around about 20%. And you're probably thinking that it's worth 20% less. So, realistically, the true price or the fair market value is probably somewhere in between. With your first offer, I highly recommend that you always put it in writing. Legally, agents are required to take written offers to the vendor. Now, a low written offer may make an agent nervous, particularly if they've overpromised the vendor. Even better, staple a check with your deposit to the letter offer. No need to worry that it'll be cashed in only when the offer is accepted. With a written offer and a deposit in hand, firstly, it shows how serious you are. And secondly, it really speaks volumes to the vendor subconsciously, as they'll feel that they're really close to securing a deal. Sure, there might be some back and forth with the agent tweaking, twerking, and twirling in order to seal the deal, but it's a great way of getting them to the table, even if the offer is lower than the guidance price, within reason. When you are going backwards and forwards on price, never reveal your walkaway price, as they will attempt to get it as close as possible to that outcome. Negotiation doesn't necessarily always have to be about price as well. If you have an idea of the vendor's motivations, that's great. If not, maybe ask the agent, as the price might always not be the real sweetener. Maybe you could do a quickie sale. If you're pre approved and they want out, this could be the perfect sweetener for them. Or perhaps you could be willing to have a clause or two to speed up the deal. Alternatively, the vendor may need more time to pack up and arrange their next move. In such a case, consider a longer settlement. For example, maybe 60 or 90 days instead of 30. Whatever you feel will get it over the line, try and seek it. And always get professional advice prior to committing to or even omitting any contractual aspects. Also, instead of negotiating on price, consider some other factors. Maybe ask for the furniture to be included in the contract. If there's a nice lounge setting, for example, or a television or an outdoor setting, items that people could, really be quite prepared to give you if it means closing the deal. Negotiation is highly dependent on the state of the market. In a buyer's market, you could throw in a low ball offer and get it in over the line. In a seller's market, you may have to pay above the asking price. However, if the house or the flat or the townhouse or whatever it is that you're after ticks the boxes, then just give it a red hot go. If not, there's lots of other perfect places out there, sometimes even more perfect. Now, what are the no-nos in negotiation? And to recap on what we've already covered off. Firstly, don't reveal your walkaway price. Secondly, don't be an emotional buyer. Another big no-no is not knowing your market, not being ready and able to make a purchase is a huge no-no. And lastly, don't make silly offers. Negotiation is a process. It is a two-way street, and both parties want to gain something from the outcome. Firstly, be confident, and confidence will come from your knowledge in the market. Knowing the market means you'll also know when to walk away. Also, use the agent. They are hired as an intermediary, so use them as a player. Sure, they will try and influence. It's to be expected, it's their job. But they will also influence the vendor to close the deal. Real estate agents want to do deals. They don't want property lingering on their on their books. So, they're going to work both sides in order to get the deal done. And remember, don't go forward, backwards and forwards just on price alone. Ask questions such as, why is the vendor selling? Have they purchased another property? Which settlement terms are preferred? How long have they owned it? Is it an investment or is it an owner occupied property? Have you had any other offers? How long has it been on the market? Is the vendor testing the market? How serious are they in selling? If you do make a low offer, provide reasons for it. Justification is such a powerful thing. Use comparable sales that you think fit your case better than those presented by the agent, which are almost guaranteed to be comparable in favour to the vendor. Use your building and pest inspection report as a negotiation tool for minor or major repairs that may need to be completed. When you make an offer, put a time limit on it. It means that you're serious and that you want the vendor to make a decision as soon as possible. 48 hours would be a good starting point. Now having the check stapled with your offer letter, it can show them, it's just simply now a matter of making a decision. Imposing a timeline also allows you to gauge the response from the real estate agent. If they aren't chasing you, it's probably because there's other interested buyers and your offer is too low. To get the deal done and done quickly, ensure that you have your finances in place. Have another property as a potential backup and use it as leverage, another reason to impose a timeline. Find out if there are other offers on the table and what those terms are. Leverage your offer by presenting lower comparable sales to the vendor that will support your case. And lastly, put the offer in writing and have your deposit immediately to hand. If the deal is not being closed, sometimes doing nothing is the next best step. Sitting back and waiting could cause the vendor to become nervous and maybe more open to negotiation. Time can be a great negotiation tool, so be patient and wait for the agent to chase you. Another thing to consider is the use of a buyer's agent to handle the negotiation process on your behalf. It could help you remove your own emotions during the process as a third party is essentially acting on your behalf. Some other tips to perhaps consider to close a deal: determine the vendor's ideal settlement and beef up your deposit. Make an unconditional offer, which could be a risky move by not conducting a building inspection, but again, it's another sweetener to show that you want to get things done. Keep negotiation on price and don't finish up on a round number. That way you can justify that you've really pushed your limit. Hypothetically, add another $1,250. That way you can say, look, I'm really pushing the boundaries and I'm really going to my maximum price and showing you how serious I am to commit, but that's my budget and I'm really pushing it now. Anyway, look, that's all for today. So once again, happy hunting, and be sure to tune in to our ongoing podcast series where we continue to talk all things property and finance related. Good luck. Bye bye.